We're live. My first ever live stream. Let's freaking go. All right. So, okay, how we do this? I gotta look at stuff. Viewers. How many viewers I got? Zero viewers. That can't be right. It's probably like a YouTube bug. There's probably like 15K of you watching me right now, right? Like, can't possibly be zero viewers. Let's see. I already got a super chat. I know you need like 500 subscribers to start getting super chat, but look, I already got a super chat. Watch this. Imaginary viewer 1, 2, 3, 4 just said, "Dear Realistic Red, nice to see you on here. You're my favorite live streamer." Don't know how that's possible since I've only been streaming for a few seconds, but that's a great comment. See, I told you guys the viewers are right there. Anyways, jokes aside, I'm actually here to talk football, which is kind of strange considering Manchester United hasn't seen football since the Stone Age. It's like, hello, I know it's just been like 2 weeks, but it feels like forever. That's insane. But let's talk football, right? You know, when Man United isn't playing football, the one thing that would never let you down is the media, right? They got nothing to talk about. All of a sudden, we're linked to half of Europe. I'm talking India. Did I say that right? India, Baleba, even Leon Goretzka. Very soon they'll link us to Pele and Maradona. They're not even here right now. But hey, never know what to expect. But let's jump right in, okay? Because it seems like the Baleba one may not just be a rumor. It might actually have some substance to it. There's some really decent sources out there that are actually kind of alluding to the fact that we agreed terms with this guy last season. Now, I'm gonna be looking at my notes here. This is my first live stream. I'm just trying to make sure I keep everything on track. So I did come prepared to have notes, so I have stuff to talk about for however long I can keep this up. All right. So it looks like from the reports, like Ineos accelerated this deal in March. So let's see, he's around 70 to 80 M's right now, £1 million. Still a lot of money. It's like a complete monster if we do get him. But the problem is, right, when you really think about it, they were trying to fleece us for 100 mil. Once you show up, right, there's a Manchester United tax, okay? If a different team comes in and tries to sign Baleba, we're talking maybe 50, 60. As soon as you just disclose you're from Manchester United, that goes all the way up, okay? It's like going into like a store, like a dollar store, then saying like, hey, my last name is Bezos. And you're like, what? Nah, no longer a dollar store. Everything here is a mill. All of a sudden, you're trying to buy a pencil. It's $1 million. I don't know what the pencil can do for you if it's made of gold. Nah, regular HB pencil, but your last name is Bezos, so you got to pay. That's what it feels like when Man United goes in for transfer talk. So, but we did get this little price drop, which doesn't feel like much. It still feels like a lot, but that's kind of the going rate nowadays for young, active, athletic midfielders. So 70, 80 M's, it's kind of just what you get in it. But the reason for this price discount right now is current season performance this current season. The reason he went to 100 M, so because of last season and season before. I've seen some of the games. I'm not really like a football scholar. I watch games for enjoyment, not to analyze and dominate people with my pseudo intellectual football knowledge or anything like that. That's not the kind of YouTuber I am. I just find it like strange that as soon as he was linked to Man United, kind of dipped. Now he's been picking form a little bit, but he really kind of dipped a bit, and that's where the low discount came in. But they were really trying to fleece us, and to be honest, they might as well still be trying to fleece us. But let's look at what we will get and why I feel like this might work for our team, because pure athleticism. Okay, we have ballers, right? Because we have a huge minority that makes no sense, a loud minority of the fan base that focus more on like ballers. They just want pure ballers, like when you talk about the Mainu, those same group of people don't like Bruno Fernandez because it's not the kind of baller that they like. They want the pure footballers, right? The Mainus, the Fodens, those kind of guys. They want to enjoy football. They like, if it was like tasty music, they'll be more into the orchestra, the operas. They don't really like the heavy metal kind of players. And while that is all well and good, it's important to have runners around those ballers, if anything. So I think what we get with a player like Baleba is he's going to be our destroyer, right? He's pure athleticism, is like the physical floor raiser, right? The team already gets a physical boost just by his presence. And he's an okay baller, right? Granted, when he came to Man United to play us in that Brighton game versus Man United, it wasn't really a great audition. This guy was sending the football to Rose. I mean, it almost got to the moon before the Adamus 2 team did. Like, it was crazy the way he sent that ball flying. But I think the link to United might have messed with his head because I don't think he's a player that's been linked to a big club before. So I do still think there's a player there. Now, the price is a bit shaky, but do we need him? I do believe we do. Um, I do believe we do. Wow. You know what's crazy? If this wasn't live, I'll be able to edit it out and make it fresh. But this is like digital Russian roulette. Anything I say here, it just stays here. It goes. I could delete the live, I guess, afterwards. But no editing here. This is new to me. But hey, so far so good. I'm not tripping over my words as I thought I would be doing. Let's keep going. Keep the ball rolling. All right. Looking back at my notes here. So yeah. So Baleba, right? What was I? Yeah. So he's definitely somebody that we need, but it's we're kind of in a tricky spot because we don't know for sure who's going to be our manager next season. If it's Carrick that's going to be the manager next season, this is great. This is perfect, right? Because the only reference we have is in terms of how he would fit in is how he would fit into the Carrick system, right? That's the only reference point we have. We don't know if Carrick's going to be the guy next season. Looking like it, his record is outstanding, but all I can talk about is his system. And I'm assuming if they're thinking of this investment, it's probably going to be built around the system. I think we're not buying players that could fit in with some form of long-term plan, meaning that whatever manager that does replace Carrick, if he does get replaced, will not be facing a setback with Baleba in the team. But I'm just going to go with what we know right now, which is Carrick is the manager at the moment, and let's see how he fits into his system. And when you look at Mainu and Casemiro, who are the constant starters for Manchester United currently, the biggest thing you see as a kind of like how do I put it? Like a drawback for them would be the lack of legs. Okay, if we get caught in the counter attack, Shaw isn't helping you out, right? This guy takes like 7 business days to run all the way back. Okay, he's left back, but no one told us he was going to be left back in the foot race. Okay, we thought he was just playing the position, but left back, he's just being left back in the foot race at this point. So having a player like Baleba would help in those kinds of situations. He's pacey, he's athletic, he's got good composure, I feel, when he's not being linked to Man United. But hopefully he can handle the pressure, and maybe the coach like Carrick, like kind of how he eats Sesko in, maybe able to manage him well. But there is a player there. Now the price tag, we don't really know, but with the way the football world is and how everything is inflated these days, and being Manchester United, it is what it is, right? That's what you get. But if you judge him purely based on his performance this season, it might just look like a gamble. So right now, what we're really paying for, we're betting on his potential, right? We're gambling on the potential ceiling he can reach, right? Not the current floor that is on. He's all the way down there right now. But when you really think about it, we don't, with Casemiro leaving, right? We do need a midfielder. That's a must. We need a lot of things. Jesus Christ. We need a new team. We actually need a new team. We need a new squad. I mean, we need a new left back. We need a new right back. We need a center back that can run at least faster than Maguire. Euro is decent, but he's still learning his craft, and he's being thrown into deep waters in Manchester United in the Premier League in one of our worst times ever. Right? It's not like he has like a Ramos to learn off of or a Vidic or Ferdinand. Nah, he's learning off of Maguire, which is great. I like Maguire. Don't get me twisted. I like the redemption arc, I like everything, but let's be real, okay? He's not like a world beater. It's not, you know what I mean? It's kind of hard to say this, but the lack of pace and sometimes he's not perfect, okay? He's our Maguire. We love and respect him, and we just wish we had better, right? Because we're Manchester United. Usually our players make it to the Premier League team of the year, okay? Bruno looks like he's on track for that, but I digress. Point is, we do need a lot of players in a lot of areas, but definitely the midfield, right? Because we're third right now because the rest of the league is kind of not really pulling their weight. That's just really what it is. Not saying, not to like bring down our own performance and what we're doing so far. I think we're doing well, but next season we don't know what's going to happen. Okay, in terms of squad depth and just overall ability, I don't think we have the greatest team. Okay, when you're having one game a week, that's a whole different ball game. Okay, one game a week, you can handle that. Potentially, we might be in the Champions League next season, FA Cups and the other stuff, right? Hopefully, we don't have a situation where we're getting knocked out early on. But finishing third, potentially, we're going to be having a lot more games next season. We're already struggling with injuries with one game a week. Next season, we need a lot of players. So if we're investing this much in a player that in a position that we actually do need, it's it has to be the right one, okay? Because 80 to 70 is low. It's a lot of money, okay? Considering that we have to invest in other areas. So it's either our broke billionaires are going to start doing a GoFundMe, or maybe they're really going to start tapping into the billion that they do have. Because Ineos and Sir Jim seem, Jesus, Lord have mercy. This is life, That's crazy. Anything you do just stays up here, right? If I make like a racist joke right now, it just stays on the internet. That's it. No editing, no cutting out. Anyways, it is what it is. I can't. I'm slurring my words right now. Sir Jim Ratcliffe. That's what I was trying to say. He's moving like a broke billionaire. Okay, even for the stadium talks right now, he's trying to get this stadium built on Klarna payments. Okay, he's trying to get help from everybody that he can get. So if he does start a GoFundMe for a transfer, it won't shock me at all. All right, but point is, 80 to 70 on one player, even though we really need him. We not just him, we just really need to fill in that position with Casemiro going. He's not going to be a Casemiro replacement. He's just a midfield replacement because we do lack depth in that position, because we won't be able to replace Casemiro. Okay, he's a dying breed of player, someone that can do what he does even at his age and score the amount of goals that he's scoring. That's insane. Okay, so replacing Casemiro, that's not going to happen anytime soon. But he does bring other qualities that Casemiro lacks. He might make our team more structured and less vulnerable. I think Carrick, the way everything is set up, the way we're compact, is to hide the weakness of the overall team, and it's working so far. But I feel we will be more adventurous, more likely to take risks. Besides Bruno, of course, Bruno will take risks regardless of the team shape or whatever's going on. But I think having someone like Baleba, who can be a destroyer, who can track back, and who can actually play ball, unlike Ugarte, right? That would definitely help us going forward. He might not produce the goals, but I think his presence in the team might enable us as a unit to be more daring going forward. But well, I've speaking so long about Baleba, you think he's the only one we're linked to. We're linked to everybody, man. There's the Elliot Anderson links as well. So yeah, so Elliot Anderson and Geordie from Newcastle. He's now £100 million. That's how much now he's going for, £100 million, and he's on United's radar and City's radar as well. So this one's kind of tricky. I've watched this guy personally. For me, between the two of them, I would actually prefer Anderson. He just seems more, I don't know what it is. In terms of athleticism, it's Baleba 100%. But there's just something about I like it. It's a bias. It's not really like a football insight or scholarism kind of thing. It's not like I've looked into their stats and stuff. I mean, I have. Like, Elliot Anderson does lead in some very key stats, not just like offensively, but mostly defensively, which is always a big plus. He's versatile. Like, he can play like the 8, he can play the 10. High energy, progresses the ball forward. He's a guy that looks like he's good at carrying the ball. He's a ball carrier. Don't want to make this comparison to make people feel like, okay, I'm saying Elliot Anderson is the same as Declan Rice. Besides the price tag, though, they both kind of seem like the same profile. Not comparing, just talking about the overall profile, right? Declan Rice just likes to move up the pitch, like carries the ball and just drives. He's a power player. I would say Elliot Anderson falls under that same profile, because I'm talking from just little snippets there and there. Like, I when they played Man United, it just seems like that guy. I don't know. He's nice to watch. He seems very technical. He doesn't. I don't explain it, like growing up, right? When you see a technical player, they kind of have a certain aura around them. Elliot Anderson doesn't have that. Even his name doesn't sound like that. I'm not even trying to be offensive or anything. You grew up watching like the Neymars, Adel Tara, Ben Arfa. They have a certain vibe there. I don't know what it is, right? You just hear the name. But this guy is giving more of like old school Lampard. Like, Lampard was a terrific midfielder, but when you hear the name, you don't really think terrific. It's only if you watch Lampard, that guy's a monster. And what I'm trying to say is Elliot Anderson might just be that diamond in the rough. I feel like the reason he's not getting as hyped, I mean, he is kind of hyped, 100 million. I mean, what we're talking about here, bro? 100 million pounds? Like, that's a house. All right. So He's definitely he's valued, at least in the market, in the transfer market. But I don't know if that's necessarily just hype around him per se. It's just I think it's the market for that kind of player now. That's what you're looking at because Rice went for around that, right? So when I say hype, I mean worldwide. If I There's some people that may not even understand like why anyone want to pay 100 million pounds for this guy. But if you do pay attention to Elliot Anderson, he's not bad. He's I would say he's really good. I'm saying not bad is an understatement. I've seen him drive the ball. He's very techy too, right? All you football scholars that love the low dribblers, the techie players, he's that guy. He's very techy and he's a bit tenacious as well. He's not afraid to get into a tackle. He will track back, right? He does put in the work rate. He's a workhorse. Now, the biggest drawback for this player, right? Because I'm not going to go too deep into the analysis and the football. It's just really the price tag. Again, we if right, let's just say right, Christmas came early for Manchester United. Okay, let's just assume that Christmas came early for Manchester United, and we're able to get Baleba. Right, that's locked away. That's done. That's 70 to 80 mil. That's kind of like what is being rumored right now. If the pressure already just with the price tag is nuts, right? And let's talk about Man United fans. We're not patient, right? You see Sesko right now, the first few games we're already saying like get him out, right? And if you're gonna get a player for 100 million, oh my lord! Not only is the media gonna scrutinize everything he does. I mean, his first touch, oh, I don't know about that. Is that 100 million pounds? Kind of dodgy there. Oh, that pass, could have been better. Oh, he couldn't score from his own goal to the other net. I don't know. I think this is a flop. I'm not even joking. It's going to be like that. This guy's going to go out to the pub. Oh, he's going to the pub for 100 million pounds. He's going to the pub. That's crazy. Man United might have. You know how the media speaks when it's Manchester United. All right. If it's a Man United player, all of a sudden his life is the most interesting thing ever. He coughs in a certain way. It's like, did he just say hi Hitler? Again, that's just how it is. They will find a way to twist things and come after him. And then there's the pressure itself. Elliot Anderson, in my experience, I don't know. He doesn't seem like again, I'm not talking about football, just his overall vibe. He doesn't seem like the kind of player who would change his personality or his work rate or his discipline overall simply because he's moving to a big club. He's giving me more of a Sonny Lammers vibe. I may be completely wrong. I'm not a Forest fan, okay? I only watch them when they play us, when they beat us and just frustrate the crap out of me. But good team, and part of that reason is because of this guy, Elliot Anderson. So I would want to go out on a limb and say maybe he might be mature enough to not let 100 million pounds get into his head and he can just be like, you know what, I'm just going to come in here and I'm just going to do me. I'm just going to ball. I'm just going to do my best and see how it goes. And if we do sign that guy, though, it's crazy. Like 80 million for Baleba, 100 mil, or maybe less, probably less. Probably bring it down. India so far seems they've not been like just doing what the old regime did, where they just throw money at things. They're trying to be a bit more frugal, but it just seems right now with the market, with Manchester United tax, it's kind of hard to get a very good deal for players unless you get them like a Dorgu kind of thing or Heaven or Chido Obi. Like you have to get them before they've done anything. You kind of have to gamble like that and hope that it pays off. But right now, if we're trying to like quickly get us to challenging, you're gonna have to spend some money because we've been managed poorly, right? It's if you give 100 million FIFA coins, right, to someone like me to build a team in FIFA Ultimate Team, I'll probably spend most of that money on Ronaldo or Ronaldinho icon card, right? I'm going to neglect everything else. I'm a very terrible squad builder, and that was what it's like. It was like under the old regime, right? With these new guys, just simply bringing in Nubumo Kunya, even though their numbers individually don't show much, just bringing in these new signings, getting rid of the old deadwood, you can already see we were improving. Even under Amarim, right? No one wants to talk about that. We were already improving, right? So while Ineos might not be perfect, while Sir Jim Ratcliffe might not be my favorite person, I just think right now they're the best we've got. So they might be able to get a more decent price. But if they don't, then I'm kind of like a bit worried. If this is something that'll come to bite us in the butt in the future, because 100 M's is a lot of money. Like it's a lot of money for a player. So talking 80 for Baleba, 100, because we can't just get one midfielder. If that's what we're trying to do, Probably not a good idea. I would rather you get like a decent midfielder for less, so we can get the squad depth that we need. Because right now with Casemiro going and Menu just being there, we need a starting replacement for Casemiro, like a starting midfielder, right? If not, we're cooked. And then we also have to take into account that if anyone gets injured, who's going to come in for that player? So yeah, the biggest downfall for Elliot Anderson that I can think of, not it's just literally the 100 M's. So, anyways, let's look at another player that we're being linked to, Sandro Tonali, Newcastle player. I think we all know this one. It's he's funny, crazy. Like it's kind of like a crazy thing because Sandro Tonali has been a player that we've been looking out for a very long time, even while he was at Milan, right? So, um, he definitely will help us out. With Italy not being able to qualify, failing to qualify to the World Cup, he's available right now for kind of talks, right? Because he doesn't have a tournament to distract him, so he can. He's a player that I feel among all three more likely to happen. Although I haven't heard a lot of things, though I haven't heard a lot of like decent or reputable sources showing any real movement in that area. But considering that Italy failed to qualify for World Cup again, yeah, he could be one of those that we might need to like look at a bit more seriously, and maybe we can get a decent price for him. But I doubt it. I think he's also. Let me see here. Yeah, 100 M's, right? And with Newcastle and the history with United and everything, they're gonna want to make sure it hurts, right? It's kind of like the old Isak thing with Liverpool. It's gonna be something messy like that, I bet. And they're gonna take us for a lot of money. I'm talking daylight robbery. That's what we're looking at here. But Sandro Tonali, besides the gambling thing, because I don't know if you guys heard about the whole gambling scandal. He's a decent player. Like he's a good player. I've seen him play. I mean, saw him Newcastle what they did to us. Yeesh. Yeah, like Sandro Tonali is like he's a good player. Okay, um, I think he's very he's well again. I can only speak of Carrick because we don't have anyone else yet. It's just Michael Carrick right now. So I think he's the ultimate Carrick player. He's like a deep line playmaker. He actually knows how to tackle. Okay, because sometimes right, our players like to do this virtual defending. Right, they do this thing where they just come in and they look like they're working. When you're like your work you're really having to do, you've met all your deadlines, but you still got hours to be there, so you kind of have to look busy. So you start to go and check and be like, this Excel spreadsheet, maybe I just change the title a little bit. This little thing over here, maybe I just move it from the left to the right, doing things that look like work, but it's not really work. It's kind of how we defend sometimes. We're just trying to, it's like our players just trying to look busy. Okay, they run in, they get close enough, they look in the stare. They don't really want to put in a tackle. They can literally just keep watching and doing this virtual defending, almost like they think they're Jedi is trying to defend with the Force. And next thing you know, there's a curler into the goal. Okay, it reminds me of the Malacia thing, but to be fair, Malacia is not match fit. Not going to blame him too much for that, but that's like an extreme version of how we defend. Tonali, on the other hand, that's a guy that wants to stick his leg in. Same thing with actually all three players. It's like Tonali, like I'm speaking about currently, Elliot Anderson and Baleba. That's actually one thing I've realized they all have in common, right? The only player in Manchester United currently, in my opinion, that does this. They all do it to some extent. I'm not saying we don't make tackles at all, but I mean effectively, right? Actually executes well in key moments and clutch moments to get the ball is Casemiro. Sometimes Meno, surprisingly. I'm actually when he does that, he kind of like, oh, really? Because he looks like Meno looks too composed for my liking. I don't know if that's like a crazy thing to say, but he looks too composed. This guy can't be bothered, bro. I won't be surprised if he gets married and then his wife is in labor and he's just like, yeah, push, babe, push. Just push. I got you, babes. Push. That's just the vibe I get from him. He seems like he can't be bothered at all. Like I'm pretty sure if the world is burning up right now, that guy's just gonna be chill. Like, yeah, world's burning. It is what it is. Get some water, bucket of water, pour that over there. He's just too composed. So when he goes for a slide tackle, something like, oh, you got that in your locker. I didn't know. Like your bag was that deep. So Casemiro, Menu, and obviously some of them do it occasionally here and there. But with these guys like Tonali, Elliot Anderson, Baleba, these guys, they're going hard. Like they're hard tacklers. They actually put in the work, right? And if we get Any one of these already, that's one of the things they're bringing in. Okay. And if you talk about like his IQ, he's got like elite football IQ. You can clearly tell he sometimes our players struggle to string a few passes together. All right. Even under Carrick, we'll be doing well. We're getting good results. In terms of results, we're doing well. In terms of performance, besides the City game and the Arsenal game, not so much, okay? And having players with good IQ that can progress the ball forward, I think Tonali has great IQ. I think Elliot Anderson does. I think Baleba as well, when he's not under the pressure of being linked to Manchester United. But these are things we can work on. Um, but anyways, what do you guys think? Out of the three I just listed, who do you think is more likely to be signed to Man United? I think Belieber so far, based on the talks and rumors I'm hearing, Belieber seems like a very strong candidate that we might have in Man United next season. We just have to wait and see because things change, right? Like they can link us to all these players in the world and we don't sign any. I remember for years we were linked to Sergio Ramos. That guy never wore a red shirt. Okay, I think we were even linked last year to Sergio Ramos. It's crazy the amount of times we get linked to players. It's like whenever players want to increase their worth in the market, they just tell their agent, "Yo, just give me a little, just a little something, just a small Man United link there, right? Like just make it seem like they're interested." Okay, like recently there's this whole Miles Lewis Kelly thing. For the longest time, I've not met this guy's, I've not heard this guy's name. Okay, he doesn't play for Arsenal like that often, right? I haven't spoken about, I haven't heard this guy's name linked to Man United. He's on Sky Sports. YouTube influencers all of a sudden. So being linked to Man United is good PR. All right. It's good for business. All right. If you're trying to start a business, just name it Manchester United. You probably get people coming. You probably have to get sued for copyright as well. But I digress. The point is being linked to Manchester United is good for business. So we're gonna get a lot of links. I don't know how many of them are going to be tangible. The Leon Goretzka thing, I don't even want to look at that. Like, that's something I heard as well. Leon Goretzka. I haven't heard that guy's name in a while. All of a sudden, he's everywhere. Leon Goretzka. What are we doing, Leon Goretzka? I guess if you're trying to just do like a Sabitzer type deal that's just going to be like a squad player, cool. He's won some major trophies. I think he's won the UCL. So maybe he's at that stage in his life now where he's just like, I'm just going to take a big paycheck from Man United. I think his transfer fee hypothetically might be zero because I think his contract's nearing the end. So that's why Ineos are kind of looking at it. I told you these guys are broke billionaires, all right? They're always trying to do thrift shop. They're always looking for sales, bro. They probably got the coupons and stuff when they shop in Amazon. And these guys are billionaires. I guess that's how you get rich, right? You don't spend a penny, you just pinch as much as you can. But I can see why if the transfer fee is zero and maybe you don't have to worry about agent fees and all of that. And I do remember Goretzka being a kind of tank, but it's never really been, in my opinion, like a world beater. Maybe that's a hot take. Would I want him here? I mean, if he's not going to cost us anything, sure, so long as his wages are decent. Maybe even if they're a bit inflated, it kind of makes sense for a short time deal, like a 2-year contract, something like that, just so we stable out and figure out what we're doing with ourselves. So that might make sense, but I didn't really look too deep into this because again, I just feel like it's one of those links. Okay, we get linked to everybody. All right, if you have anybody that's playing football right now, you could be on the 12th, you're going to link to Man United one way or another. Okay, so I don't really know, but we shall see. That's all I can say. We should see about that. But anyways, right now, this is what I think. Among all of them, for me personally, my favorite would be Elliot Anderson. Just because I don't know. I like him better. Okay, it's bias. All right, this isn't some deep, profound football insight here. This is just me being a football fan and just I like the guy. I think he would do well in Man United. I think it fits out. He fits our team. If you look at our overall team, he's decent in the air. He's comfortable with the ball. He can keep the ball well. He passes well, and he drives the ball forward. I can't emphasize that enough. He loves to drive forward. Baleba does that too, by the way. But he's got. I think what Baleba has over Elliott is the pace, and I don't know. I guess if you're going to be pairing them, assuming Maino is going to be a regular starter, maybe Believer is a better bet. But I just really like Anderson. Something it's like a gut feeling. We might sign him now. Might be one of the biggest flops ever. He might be like another Sancho. I don't have an 8 ball. I'm not psychic. I can't see the future. I'm not raving. I can go and then tell you like, yeah, right, this guy's going to be amazing. There's no guarantee. Whatever we sign is going to be a risk. I mean, in this market, Everything is a risk. If you're a midfielder, you are at least 14 mil by default. You don't even have to be great. As long as you can kick ball in the Premier League, you're automatically 40 mil. If you're English with an English flag, that adds another 20 mil by default. Doesn't matter how good you are. If you're English Premier League, you're looking at least 50, 60. Okay, Miles Lewis Kelly will come to Man United. Not will, but if he does come to Man United, we're looking 60. What has he done? Nothing. What has he won? Not a lot. Um, but we're desperate. That's what it is. When we're not having the guys at the top running the club efficiently, that's how you land yourself in this mess that we're at right now. But ultimately, there's a lot more links. I'm highlighting the ones that I think might be visible based on like the sources that I've seen and I've read about. But this is all I got. This is all I truly believe has some weight to it. Tonali, I need to look. Maybe my next stream I will look into fullbacks, like left backs, right backs, try to see what we're doing there because we can't possibly just be looking at the middle alone. It could be a budgeting thing. They just got a budget for that midfield. Anyways, we need a lot more. Okay, if these guys are planning, because according to Ineos, they're trying to compete around 2028. So in 2 years, they're trying to compete for the league. We're nowhere near that. Okay, don't let the position on the table fool you. We're nowhere near that. We need a whole lot more. Not only the manager, we need a lot more. Okay, to get somewhere decent. Anyways, it's been the Realistic Red. It's been my first stream. I'm gonna go ahead and end this right now. Thank you guys for watching. All 15K of you. I know you're seeing 0 views. Like I have 0 viewers. That's not true. Actually, I do have 1 viewer. Hey, hi. See, well, it's not 1 viewer, it's actually 15,000 viewers. Listen, trust me. YouTube is just broken right now. There's like a lot of viewers. There's I actually have to read the super chats. Give me a second. Imaginary viewer 124 says, "Great stream, the Realistic Red. Keep it up." Oh, thank you, imaginary viewer. Oh, another. Why is everyone named imaginary viewer? That's crazy. Another super chat coming for like $50. Whoa, cool. I think Baleba would be a good signing, and yeah, keep up the great work. Oh, cool! Thank you, imaginary viewer. Anyways, it's been the Realistic Red. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll do this again. I'll catch you guys next time. So right now, I don't really have the whole fancy setup going. I just wanted to dust off the dirt, right? Because I'm making these excuses like I ain't got the overlays, I ain't got the fancy stuff, and I've been procrastinating doing the live stream because I don't have all of these things. And I just thought today I'm just gonna put on my camera up here and just go for it, right? Just get the dust off, warm up. It's like preseason for the live stream, right? Before we get cooking. But I'm gonna try and improve this. Not try, I am going to improve the overlays, views will make it prettier for you guys to watch and enjoy. But yeah, that's it for me right now. Jesus Christ, this is the longest closing to a live stream. Bear with me, guys. I haven't done this before. I don't know how this. Do you just there we go. There's a big end stream button right there. So I'm going to do that now. All right.